Are you operating out of a poverty mentality? Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to Fearless Fridays. Today is Friday, September 11th. This is episode 66 of Fearless Fridays. And as always, I welcome you to the show, whether it's your first time or you are a return watcher. Thank you so much for joining me. Whether you're watching from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, thank you so much for watching. So listen, I want to talk to you today from this idea, from this question, are you operating out of a poverty mentality? And when I say that phrase, poverty mentality, you may not know what that means. Maybe you never heard that before. And so I'm going to tell you, a poverty mentality is basically cut and dried. It's a mentality of lack. It's a mentality that says, I'm never going to have enough. I'm never going to have more than what I have now. I'm never going to be able to move higher than where I am now. I'm never going to be able to reach higher. I'm never going to be able to get to that higher place or that higher space or that pinnacle. I'm never going to have more. I'm never going to be more. I'm never going to make more. It's just a poverty mentality. It's a space of lack. And I think a lot of times we're operating out of a poverty mentality and we don't even know it. We don't even recognize it. A poverty mentality could cause you to never reach higher for the position that you want, for the job that you really want, for the education that you really want, because you think in your mind, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to have enough. I'm never going to be able to reach higher. And your mentality of lack or your poverty mentality keeps you down. It keeps you from operating at that higher level. It convinces you that you're never going to be able to have more, do more, be more, reach higher. And like I said, we could be operating out of a poverty mentality and not even realize it. It can manifest itself in the way that you carry yourself. It manifests itself in the way, even in the way you dress. It manifests itself in the way you go after opportunities or don't go after opportunities. Maybe you don't go after the things that you want fully because somewhere in the back of your mind you think, I want that higher thing. I want that higher position. I want that higher life, that higher way of being, but I'm never going to get there. And so I'm going to reach for it, but I'm not really going to put my all into it because I believe that I'm never going to get there. It could keep you from going for the kinds of friendships that you want. It could keep you in friendships and in relationships that don't push you higher or that don't force you to reach higher. It's a poverty mentality. It's a mentality of lack. And when you are operating out of this space, when you're operating out of a space that says there's never going to be enough, I'm never going to be able to go higher, I'm never going to be able to reach higher, I'm never going to be able to have the abundance that I want or the prosperity that I want, it shows itself in the way you live your life. It shows itself in the way you speak about yourself. It shows itself in the way you speak about your life. Again, it shows itself in the way that you either go after opportunities or don't go after opportunities. And so this is something that I want us to all to be aware of. If you're ever sitting and thinking, this is what I really want this thing, but man, maybe I'll just have to settle for less because I don't think that thing is really attainable, or I've been trying, reaching, pressing, and it hasn't happened yet. So maybe it's just not attainable. That is a thought that could get you or keep you in that place, in that mentality of poverty, in that mentality of lack. Those kinds of thoughts are the thoughts that start to churn within you when you have a poverty mentality. The idea of settling, the idea of, well, it hasn't happened yet, so I guess it's not going to happen. Or it hasn't happened for anyone around me, so I guess it's impossible. If you have the desire for something, this is what I truly believe. The desire that you have, the deep desire that you have, is evidence that it's possible. The fact that you have the desire for something more is the evidence that that something more is possible. And that's all the evidence that you need. The fact that you desire it, the fact that you envision it, the fact that you see it in your mind's eye so clearly when you close your eyes, that is the evidence. That is the evidence that it is possible. And even if that's the only shred of evidence that you have, that's got to be the evidence that you work from. That has to be the space that you work from. That's the space of victory. That vision in your mind, that dream, that desire, that deep, deep desire, that deep, deep longing, that has to be the thing that propels you towards that goal, towards that vision, towards that new height, towards that new level. So that even if you've never seen it happen around you, or even if everyone around you is telling you that it's impossible, you have to know, no, I have evidence. My deep desire is evidence. My vision is evidence. When I close my eyes at night and I dream, that's evidence. When I close my eyes during the day and I dream and I see it and I know it and I believe it, that's the evidence. And that's what you have to work towards. That's the space rather that you have to work from, so that that poverty mentality, so that that mentality of lack is not allowed to take over. And it could be in any realm of life. It could be in your career. It could be in your education. It could be in your finances and the amount of money that you make. It could be in the kinds of friendships that you want. It can be in the kinds of romantic relationships that you want. The poverty mentality, the mentality of lack, the mentality that keeps you settling, the mentality that keeps you from going for what you really want because no one around you has ever had it or you never thought you could have it. That's what's going to keep you from pushing forward. And that is what you have to fight against. You have to fight against that mentality of lack. You have to fight against that idea that tells you that you have to settle because you've never seen it before, or the idea that tells you that you have to just take what you can get because you've been trying for so long and it hasn't happened yet. No. You have to work from the inside out. The vision that you have on the inside of you, the idea, the deep desire that you have on the inside of you, that is all of the evidence that you need to propel you forward. So don't get caught in this poverty mentality. Don't get caught in this lack mentality. Don't get caught in this mentality that says, I have to settle, or I have to just take what I can get because this is all I'm getting. You can push harder. You can push higher. You can reach higher. You can, but you cannot allow that poverty mentality to take over your thoughts, your life, your actions, your vision, your dream, your desire. Do not allow the poverty mentality to take you over, and make sure that you're not living from that space. If you ever dream about something or have a vision about something or have a deep longing or desire, or even say out loud, this is what I want, or write it down, this is what I want. If you ever do any of those things, the thought that comes behind that, if that thought comes to snatch that idea, snatch that vision, snatch that desire, that's a poverty thought. That's a thought of lack. And you have to learn to pay attention to your thoughts and pay attention to the words that you speak over yourself. Pay attention to what you accept. Because if you're constantly accepting less than what you know you want, you're operating out of a poverty mentality. You're operating out of a mentality of lack. You're operating out of a place and a space that convinces you to settle because the thing that you really want is too high or too grand or too much. And the desire that you have is proof that it can happen. The deep desire, the deep vision, the deep longing that you have is proof that it can happen. It can happen. Your desire is proof that it can happen. So don't settle. Don't get into this space of, well, this is all I've ever had. This is all anybody around me has ever had. This is all I've ever seen. This is all I've ever experienced. So this must be it. No, you're settling. That's the mentality of lack. That's the mentality of poverty. And that mentality is not going to move you forward. So learn to listen to your thoughts. Learn to pay attention to the words that you're speaking over yourself. And if the words that you're speaking over yourself are in direct opposition to what you want, pay attention to that. Speak new words over yourself. Get rid of those words of lack. Get rid of those words of poverty. Get rid of those words of settling. Get rid of those words or those thoughts that say, well, it is what it is. This is all it's ever been. This is all it's ever going to be. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You can move higher. You can reach higher. You can go for more. And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. Sometimes you got to pull up so that the higher thing, so that you can actually reach the higher thing. If you want the higher thing and you feel like you can't reach it yet, sometimes you have to pull up first because it's there. It's there. And sometimes you have to be the one to say, okay, I'm not there yet, but I know I can get there. Let me pull up. Let me present myself in a different way so that the higher opportunity can come to me, because the higher opportunity is already there. And sometimes all you got to do is pull up so you can actually see the higher opportunity, so that you can reach out and touch the higher opportunity, so that you can reach out and grab the higher opportunity. So look at yourself. If you want something higher, if you want something better, if you want something bigger, look at yourself and say, how am I presenting myself? Am I presenting myself in a way that says I'm ready for this higher, bigger thing? Or am I still presenting myself in a way that says, this is the thing that I'm used to. I'm going to stay down here. Pull up. Pull up. I had a friend who used to say, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. So if the position where you are is showing itself to not be enough for you, and you know you want more, you know you want higher in whatever realm of life we're talking about, if you know you want more than where you are, then present yourself in a way that says, I am ready for the higher, I'm ready for the better, I'm ready for the greater, I'm ready for the more. Present yourself in that way. Start to live from that higher space. Because the higher thing is already there. And sometimes you have to just pull up so you can reach it, so you can grab it, so you can experience it. You got to live on a different realm, in a different atmosphere, in a higher atmosphere. So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Don't settle. Don't settle into that poverty mentality. Pull up into the higher space. Don't settle for the space of lack. Pull up into the space of abundance. Because that's your birthright. That's what God promised you. He promised you life and life more abundantly. I'm going to quote the Bible now. He promised you life and life more abundantly. So that means you don't have to settle for anything less than that. You don't have to settle for lack. You don't have to settle for less than. You don't have to settle for anything. Pull up. That's what I have for y'all today. I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's been another shift in my space, and I have made a move. I moved from New York to LA, and I'm so excited to be here now. So this space, I'm still getting my space together. So it's going to shift over the next few weeks as I get my, life together in this new space. But I'm so happy to be here. If anybody's in LA, holla at your girl. I would love to connect in this pandemic corona time. Socially distanced with masks, of course. So yeah, I'm super happy to be in LA now. Also, some of you may know about Rally and Rejoice, the International Black Women's Travel Jubilee. It's a conference that's happening in October, and I am one of the speakers at the conference. And my session will be happening October 4th, and I'm going to be talking about the fear structure, breaking down the fear structure, and giving you some tools to overcome fear, which, that's what I talk about, fear. So join me, the International Black Women's Travel Jubilee, Rally and Rejoice. My session is October 4th. If you want tickets to that, you can get them. If you're on my Instagram page, you can click on the link in my bio and you'll see Rally and Rejoice. And I will also put a link below this on YouTube. So check us out. International Black Women's Travel Jubilee, October, Rally and Rejoice. I'm talking about the fear structure, and there are a lot of other wonderful speakers who will be talking about being a digital nomad and traveling and freedom and all kinds of things. So definitely join us. So thank you so much for joining me today. Pull up into the higher space. Don't settle. As always, fear is stupid. Get out in the world. Live, love, go, do, be. Pull up, pull up, pull up. If you want more, pull up into the higher space. Don't live from a poverty mentality. Don't live from a mentality of lack. And for goodness sake, don't settle. Don't do it. I will talk to y'all next week. Bye-bye.